McAnally, we go again. How the fuck are you?
I am I am good. I have stories to tell, but let's just start with the right here and now. I am in a business suite in this hotel. It's like, I wish I could show it. It's like a mafia dawn room. It's me, a couple of lights, a bit, a table set out for it's a 6 or 8 people, and a wee receptionist is going, which business do we want? Honestly, when I first came in, I was in a Boston Celtics basketball team, and I wanted to bring beers with me, so I was a bit like, I can't walk into this business suite with these fucking high-flying executives. So what I did is I went to my room, and I poured the Jack Daniels into a can of Pepsi, and then I just sort of had this one in my pocket. So we have a frightening time of 22 minutes past 10. We've got a Gentleman Jack and Pepsi in this one, and a wee Stella Shandy in this one. So it's been class. I apologise to anyone for the audio. I cannot do anything about the audio. You're going to be getting this in the microphone from my laptop and not my usual mic. But otherwise, I mean, this is as good as I could possibly manage.
Mate, there's something fucking hilarious about you wandering around a hotel pretending you're drinking soft drinks with fucking alcohol in a can. It's great. It's the first step to full-blown, we need to have an intervention. For those people that are not on social media, can you tell us what the fuck's going on? Where are you?
So, firstly, I'm in Egypt. I'm in Egypt. Fuck it, let's just start for a start, right? So we've done Damnation. You come back, you go into that post-festival hell of, especially now with 2 days, 50 bands, the invoices to pay, all the contractors, all your toilets, your fencing, fucking everything. And I've spoken previously about my banking dilemmas and how much I hate it. Turns out the Starling have got a 10,000 per day international transfer limit, which, how the fuck any business operates like that? But now I've got 2 days worth of bands. I needed to send them 10,000 every single day, basically. So I just had this backlog of bands asking when the fuck they were getting paid, and me trying to explain that I'm using a shitty banking system, which you couldn't get it out. So that became problematic. It was just a slog. But Kelly and I had the week, Kelly being my wife, for anyone new listeners, Kelly and I had the week booked off after this, but nothing booked. So as we were going through the week, we were like, we'll get. I was trying to get back for Radiohead in London this coming Saturday, and I was adamant I was getting to Radiohead, so try to fit it in between those dates and try to get places in Portugal at the minute. It's fucking soaking wet. It was like, it just seemed like everything was against us. And my mate Div gave me a place in Egypt to go to for a great. He's like a fucking savant at finding holiday deals, and it looked absolutely brilliant. So that was it. The Friday morning, we had booked up to go to Egypt. We'd be going for this week. So I'm texting you and I'm saying, oh shit, James, I'm away fucking Egypt tomorrow. We need to make a plan for the podcast, etc., etc. And then I find out at like 6 p.m. on Friday night, cancelled the holiday for World Travel Republic. If there was an issue with the flights or an issue with fucking. So 7 p.m. I've packed a bag now and I am no longer going to Egypt. So getting a wee bit of shit. What do we do now? And I went and found this place, Baron Palace. And I hadn't thought too much about the whole it trying to be a palace. And I was like, right, okay, fucking Kelly, we're back in. Paid £1,000 for EasyJet flights. I mean, I don't know how much that, if you're not people been EasyJet for 6 hours on an EasyJet flight and having to pay £1,000 to go on it was fucking particularly heartbreaking. But we got here and it is a fucking palace. But the mistake I made was, I was just thinking about the sun. I was only thinking about the sun on the side of the pool. I wasn't thinking about this place is absolutely rammed with 60-year-old Germans. And it is fucking, it's up as our arse in the nicest possible way. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. Beautiful, beautiful staff. But my God, it's stoic. I mean, there is not a lot of atmosphere. The vibes are not immaculate in this hotel. The vibes are very different from Damnation. So I shows up in the first, and I picked like fucking 9 basketball tops, 2 pairs of shorts, and some pants to go on holiday. And in the first restaurant we go to, the guy just looking at me and I mean, it's a pair of chino shorts, but still shorts. Goes, sorry sir, you must have trousers. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is a problem. So then I'm starting to go in the market to find things. People are trying to sell me like 55 quid fake Ralph Lauren's like linen trousers. And I'm like, oh, this is not happening. Went to reception and I have now got a pair of workers beige chinos that I'm wearing every single night to get to these restaurants so I can have my dinner. So that's where I am currently. We're a few days in. I got up this morning. We were supposed to do this yesterday. I ended up a wee bit sick. And thank God we never, because I'm sure we've got plenty to talk about the kneecap and the Scotland game last night.
Oh fuck yeah, the Scotland game.
The Scotland game.
I was only aware that had happened because of the banter going on the podcast socials. Did you watch it? Could you see it there? Did they have it on?
We can get to that in a minute. I forgot about the flight, Karen. Now, I get on the flight, the EasyJet flight, got 6 hours ahead of me, and this wee lovely Scottish granny sits down beside me. I mean, the kind of person that makes homemade shortbread. And she goes, oh, would you like a wee hanky, son? And oh, thanks very much. And chat away. If you need to borrow my wee head pillow, you can borrow my head pillow. Like, oh, just your typical Scottish granny. And then she pulls out the Daily Mail. It's like, okay, I've seen this person before. I've met this person. Mate, I kid you not, of the 6-hour flight, for 5 hours of it, me and this Scottish granny went back and forth on everything. She voted no in the referendum. She voted yes for Brexit. She believes that only people in the boats are 16 to 40-year-old and they're all going to be rapists. And I made some, I mean, me being me, especially a few lines of me, I'm just getting backwards and forwards. I'm just telling her, listen, in the nicest possible way, you're a fucking idiot. And your entire worldview is informed by the Daily Mail was monetising your stupidity to sell more papers and get more clicks. She's like, and at some places it get quite heated, and I'll try to calm down. Says, look, we do have some things in common. Like, we're both on a flight to Egypt. And she was just like, okay. The time she got off the flight, Kelly could hear us, because we were sitting separately, me and Kelly, because we obviously booked the flight so late, couldn't get seats together. And she gets into the baggage collection and she speaks with Kelly. She goes, your husband had me in a box from the second he saw me reading the Daily Mail. He has to more open-minded world views.
Hang on, so who's driving this conversation? Is this you or the granny driving this conversation? Who's the one really making it keep happening?
You know what? It was a weird one, right? Because I could sense. Well, firstly, I as I say, it's not that. You know, online we just think that everyone who's a bit of fucking bigoted cabbage is just that's the way they go through their life. They wake up in the morning and they're just out there trying to get the boat stopped or something. And that's not the way the world works. A lot of the time, it is these pleasant wee grannies who will go out their way to do you a favour that are just got these reviews because they read it. Like she was from a Highland village. She's never seen a brown face in her entire life. I mean, never mind trying to stop fucking boats. So it kind of started that she was all, but she was an over-opinionated woman, basically. So she was making the point of Glasgow's a shithole. She had to come down and travelling through Glasgow in the traffic. And I was a bit like, mate, the traffic's bad at 9 AM and 5 PM. I mean, like, fuck, what do you know about it? You're from a fucking village in the Islands. And it sort of started that, and then she started with, oh, the village was in good, but there's been a bit of immigration lately. And I said, oh, here we go. We're getting started. And what I could have done at that point, 1 hour in, I just nod my head and be like, aye, you're totally right, fucking, I mean, stop the boats, well, I think it'll be better. But I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm not doing that. I'm taking the other direction, I'm choosing violence. So it was just... And it kept building up to, like, she would start getting a wee bit angry, and I would try to talk her out it and try to calm her back down, and then she would say something else utterly ridiculous. Like, I would say, every time there was a problem, she would talk about a village. I'm saying, that's because Amazon and Facebook and that don't pay the taxes. It's not because somebody showed up in the reason why Lurpak's £7 a pack is not because somebody showed up in a boat at Dover. It's because people aren't paying the taxes they should be. And a point kept going back to, I can't do anything about Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. And my point was like, what are you doing to stop the boats? You know what I mean? You can do that with your gun. You can try to target some people on the beach. So, aye. It was Kelly was like, Gavin, you're a fucking headache. I did see a look, it made 6 hours pass very quickly.
Fucking hell. Right.
And then, Jews, and then we get to this day, man. Oh my God. So I'm, but that's been a pretty fucking, I've got 6 bottles of 6 bottles of wine in me, the flight wines. And we comes at the airport, because we don't have any transfers or anything. I mean, this whole holiday had been booked like fucking 12 hours previously. And the wee guy at the very start, taxi. And I'm like, aye, mate, no bother. Like, I wish I'd taken a picture of this. So me and Kelly start walking. Now, this guy's clearly not a taxi because he's not allowed in the taxi rank. So he has to take you to basically the closest public bit he can get his car to. So he's taking our two cases and he's bounced them up down the curbs, and I'm going, oh my God. And he's saying something about his car on the way there, like it's not my car, just borrowing or something. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And I guessed into the bomb. James, like a 1979 Ford Escort, 3 wheels on it. Fuck it. I mean, one of the things didn't have door handles, no seat belts. So we're going in right and Kelly's like, is this safe, Gavin? I says, listen to me, mate. And I'm putting this in my sat nav. I know where to go. I said, no, listen to me. I'm putting this in my sat nav. The first second that this car goes any direction there's not in this blue route, like, we're opening the doors, we're fucking jumping out, right? I mean, he's like, it's safe, it's good, everything's good. Kelly's got a gas canister beside on the back seat, right? And he's getting no fuel in the fucking thing at all. So he just starts, the fucking car's rattling, right? And we'd been in Mauritius before and had this same sort of journey, and it was something about it when, if you're not going to go and get yourself killed, it's something about it that's quite good about, like, a guy's just trying to graft, isn't he? A guy's just trying to make a bit of money for his family. It's just terrifying me, he takes a left turn and the next thing you know, you're going to be in a fucking video somewhere in the New York Times. So he stayed in the blue route, got to the end of it. He was a lovely guy, but even the fucking journey here. And then the juxtaposition of this, I'm surprised he even let the guy's car in the gates. It did then pull it up front of this fucking palace, was just, oh, what a mad start to the holiday, mate.
Fucking hell. Incredible. I mean, I appreciate you telling me you were going on holiday, mate. We could have had an episode ready to go, but
well, it was never really the plan. And I don't know how you feel about your festivals, but see, for me, there's a wee bit of like, I know that life will continue after it, but it doesn't matter. Like, whatever happens after the last day of damnation, I know it will happen, but it doesn't matter. Like, the only thing I'm worried about in the last few weeks up to damnation is the 2 days itself. So I never thought about a podcast or flying to Egypt or booking a hotel or make sure the taxi driver was with Hamas. I was just like, fucking, like, let's go.
it's pretty hard to see past the festival. I get that totally. Particularly as I felt quite sorry for you after the sort of day of pat down, and then with us, there's so many people doing different jobs that I know that someone's got the stress of those band payments, but it isn't me. I was once. There was a time it was. But so, yeah, I'm lying on the couch watching the golf for a few days, and you're properly in the whirlwind still, and that's quite hard to do. It's quite hard to get up and go again after you've
especially
after the
when
adrenaline
it is to start with, but especially when you've got the hurdles of. So basically what I had to do, and this is legal before somebody tells me it's not, I had to transfer money from the company account to my personal account, the Halifax, which doesn't have those same limits, and then send the big payments out so I could get them finally done. But now what I need to do with my accountant is I need that whole paper trail now to go through my own personal account too, to show that I'm not just taking money out of the company and then fucking off to Egypt, you know what I mean? So it's just problematic.
Yeah. And as a former auditor, somewhere in an office somewhere, there's a little bell ringing. It's called the money laundering bell. And the bank could go, what the fuck is this transaction going on here? There's a lot of money moving. Seems to be going from a business account to a personal account.
Why suddenly is this personal account popped up for nowhere and just sending tens of thousands of them? But at that point, I was like, James, I'm still be here today trying to send those, because those with the Perturbator, Ram and Ra, Corrosion Conformity, all those bands needed international payments, and it was just like, I'm never getting to the end of this. And I'd spoken to my accountant before, and he says, see, as long as the paperwork's all there, as long as it's all accounted for. I mean, if you need to pay something with PayPal, because you just need to show the paper trail that it went to the right place and then went to the right place, it just makes it more complicated. So I hope you was telling the truth, James.
Yeah, you're not actually money laundering, so it's like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, we have that on another scale as well, because since we've gone cashless, all of our traders and all of our bar money also lands in our bank account. So like, if you're the chicken stall and you've sold fucking tens of thousands of pounds worth of fucking fried chicken at 2,000 Trees, we've got your money. And obviously you want your money now, right? And so the perturbator want their money now. And you're still bound by these mad banking limits, which obviously big corporations don't have these sort of banking limits. It's so fucking frustrating. It's my money. You're telling me I can't pay someone with it. It's like, it's super annoying. So yeah, I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain. Was there anything else damnation-y that you felt like we didn't cover or you wanted to cover after the Paul episode?
Do you know what? Honestly, James, probably a ton of things. Probably a ton of good wee snippets and insights and bits and bobs, but I really, other than having the chance to sort of relive some of the highlights, I haven't sat and gone through anything I had. I don't have any notes for this pod, so unless there's anything you can think of that we can maybe tackle that in a future episode.
Well, look, there's two things, and we can either cut them out or you can just stop me talking and we'll move on. I won't mention band names, but I thought they were both funny. And one is about hotels, right? And do you want to tell this?
Okay. So it's a Friday night and get a call from Angela basically saying that one of the bands has arrived at the hotels and are not happy with the standard of the hotel. There's no explanation given about what it was they weren't happy with, but ultimately they'd walked to another hotel entrance and they were sitting in the lobby and they weren't leaving that lobby until I'd transferred money to get them new hotel rooms, which I think, I don't even have the full cost, but it cost me £800. Now, what do you do with that?
They were already. What I just thought was funny is they're already in the other hotel. So it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? They're like one of, obviously, because you've got hotels. They're one of the bigger bands on the lineup. You got to fucking. There's only a yes to that, isn't there? And they probably know that as well.
I mean, they've got you by. I'm in a taxi at the moment going to Night of Salvation, which I'm already late for. Yeah. There's a million things going on in the background. We still have just wee bits and bobs, like I spoke about the last pod. Just to be the Wi-Fi's no set up in the Mercy. The one of the card readers no showed up. Tom Begley's got a problem probably because he just likes to create one when he doesn't and tell you about it. So you're just like, well, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do? Okay, I'll stand my ground. Now the band are clearly adamant. I mean, they're no fucking about. It's not like, can you please? They have walked to another hotel and they're standing in the lobby. So I was like, what did you say to them? If you don't want to play, it's like, I need that headache. So my whole night's going to be ruined anyway, because now I'm long going to consider as this band playing tomorrow or Sunday, and what can I do about this? Not a great deal. You could fight it. I suppose you could be like, withhold the money at the other side. And by the time we get, it's not a lesson learned, because they could have checked. They had no issue with the hotel until they got there. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the hotel wasn't it wasn't the Baron Palace, but at the same time, they'd never had an issue beforehand. So, it was an £800 slap in the dish.
Yeah, just the joys of events. I just quite like because obviously I know who the band was. I just quite like the vision of them just being like, fuck this. No, thank you. We're just going to go somewhere else.
Not doing it. And then the other bad, again, we're not going to mention, because listen, Damnation was a screaming success, and these things that are happening and we're talking about are not like, oh, boo, who us. This is the fucking, it's happened at ATG, it happens at Download, it happens at Hellfest. Bands show up, and sometimes you catch a tour manager or a band member in a bad mood, or something just doesn't go their way. And there was one band in particular that we just could not get aligned with. Before, during, after, I don't know what it was. I wasn't personally involved. I mean, fair play to like Marios and Angela and Paul, who took the brunt of this stuff, but this band from the demanded the world and really never delivered on a lot of their promises on the times that they wanted to keep, the space that they wanted. And then by the end of the night, I heard that like Angela was fighting a bus driver and the guy just tipped to piss all over the site, which is a fairly fucking disgusting thing to do. And if it hadn't rained, because I believe it was at the front end, like as you're walking out through there where the bus had been to get powered, if it hadn't rained, I'm sure there would have been a stink of piss walking out of Damnation. So, that's unpleasant. It's not something, I mean, again, I don't want to, I'm not dragging anyone over the coals about it, but just another wee one of those shitty things that sometimes happens when personalities clash and people just feel like they're fucking, it's all about them.
So you intentionally emptied the piss onto your car park floor, essentially?
I believe so. I believe so.
I mean, we've talked about bus drivers before. They are a breed unto themselves, aren't they? So it's yeah.
And
We'll
what was your concern for the weekend? If people take creepy photos of you?
So that was weird, right? So we were on the train on the way to Damnation. I sat next to Andy, we're having a lovely chat and a beer, and Mitch sent me a photo from the Damnation. I think it was from the Damnation Facebook. It might have been from the Two Promoters One Pod, and it's someone in the same carriage as me on the train taking a photo of me on my way to have a piss. And it's like, wow, what the fuck? This is weird. What have we been talking about? Because then you're like, firstly, how many lineup secrets have I just given away to some random person on the train? And secondly, like, what else have we been saying? You know, when you're just with your mates, you should just be able to chat like you with your mates, right? You're not thinking people know me in this carriage. It's fucking strange.
I mean, creepy photos aside, when I'm in mixed company and I'll be sitting, so like says me, Paul, and Angela, and then friends of Ange or Paul come in here, I try not to be like, oh, secret squirrel. I try to show people the trust and respect. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and talk about a band fee, but I will talk about, right, if we were trying to chase Perturbator to play the festival, I wouldn't then start going, oh, you know that band? I'm just not that guy. You're not going to be a bit of a dick about it. Either talk about it or don't talk about it. Don't do the in between where wink, wink, no. Do you know that band we were talking about earlier? Like, I know something you don't know. I fucking hate those people. So, and a lot of times I'll be in, if you're doing this sport, you come out. I remember once came out of a gig in Glasgow. I think it was the Nordic Giants and This Will Destroy You show. And we were sitting with like friends of Damnation and friends of the pod. And I just said at the start of this, listen, whatever I say at this table stays at this table. Because there's like 8 keys and I don't really know 4. But I want to still have a conversation with my pals who are saying,
yeah,
I don't want you to be part of this. I'm quite happy for you guys to be part of this night. I'm going to say stuff here that I do not want to show up in the Damnation forum or the Two Promoters One pod page, because it is sensitive in the set factor. It is bands that I'll be looking at or bands I might have booked that I haven't announced yet, and I'm trusting everybody at the table to be adults, and 9 times out of 10 that's what happens. That is what people don't clout chase. They don't, like, I know something. They might tell their pals maybe, but they don't run straight to the forum and say, oh, here's something I know that you don't, which is, I think that just fucking says everything about our types of fan bases anyway. I say our fan bases, I mean the festivals, I don't mean the Gavin James fan base taking pictures of you in the fucking tree.
Well, I think the thing is, right, so we've sort of talked about this before. Me and you have like this weird level of people knowing who you are, but only at three festivals a year, and then you just go about your daily business like you always have. So being photographed on the train is kind of a sort of a level slightly outside of that, where you're like, oh, right, fuck. And then, I mean, I'm on the way home, and there are absolutely no words for the level of broken I was at when I got on that 11 a.m. train back from Manchester. And I was pretty much passed out for the entire journey. And every time I woke up, all I could think of was, is there a photo of me now on Facebook sleeping, drooling? It's just like, it was weird. But yeah, quite funny. But yeah, fucking the come down from Damnation has been hard. I've actually only started feeling normal in the last couple of days. I definitely got some sort of festival cough and a cold and sickness. And there was a point where it went from this is not a hangover anymore. I'm ill.
Aye, no, there was definitely. I mean, whether it was about a COVID when or everyone just hit it too hard and the immune system was fucked. But there was, everyone, you go to any fest when you kind of hit it hard for 2 or 3 days, your body takes a bit to recover. But I felt there was just a lot of people like, oh my God, I feel like I've got a Damnation flu. So, aye, it's been a rough one. Unfortunately for me, I suppose I've just fucking drank right through it. So whatever I did have, I've tried to just completely kill off, and let's continue on that vein.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Your come down is still to come. Just ride the wave. Don't think about it. Anything else on any other weekly waffle?
You know what? What else have I been? I mean, this is I'm delighted to be here. This is cool. I mean, this is cool as fuck. I mean, I left a cabana, a private beach cabana, with some guy trying to sell me a boat trip tomorrow to come up here and do this. And then when I walked in, the whole business with myself, I'm like, this is class. I mean, this is pretty class, isn't it? I mean, but I did feel, when I was telling Kelly, I said, okay, we'll took yesterday's podcast, so there's the pod, you could see in her eyes, like, you're fucking acting, aren't you? I mean, why in the, why in Earth? I can see why Lizzie's like, mate, you're not going to wait to set up a podcast in the middle of your fucking holiday. Just do it beforehand. And I'm like, this is what we do. Fucking aye. So had a great time here. I've been here 4 days, is it? 3 of those days I had massages. All those days I've been drunk. It's sunny. I am loving life. I mean, cutting a bit in the workers' chinos at night is probably not my first choice in dress code. I would maybe rather my own clothes to be wearing. But otherwise, it's all good. No complaints from my end.
Fucking happy days, mate. Good work. Thanks. Just a big thank you to Kelly for being understanding, I think, because I don't think straight off the back of one of my festivals, going on holiday and doing a podcast whilst on holiday would have gone down that well in my house.
Maybe Kelly's just enjoying the peace and quiet from my fucking nonsense. You
haven't got the kids with you, have you? So she's
no. I mean, we're fucking going by her island. She's sitting in a cabana with a cocktail staring across the sea. I mean, unfortunately for her, it is all 60-year-old German men, so there isn't a lot of... I mean, I'm like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger here, man. It's like, I've never seen so many terrible fucking bodies in my life. And then last night, are we going to do last night first, or you want to get into our factory week?
No, you go for it, mate. Go. Oh, well, whatever.
Right, so I wasn't... I was doing well yesterday. I woke up, I think it was something I ate, and then 2 hours drinking the fucking body, so I ended up in the fucking shits in the morning. I was just like, this is... And not the bed. I mean, I kept it to the toilet for the guy on the damnation for him. But I felt fucking rough as, and it took me ages to get into it. And then the first thing I ate last night was we booked into the Egyptian restaurant. I had my workers' chinos on, and we went in and had some dinner, and I came out, I was like, 50-50, like, I could fall asleep right now. Because at this point, so 7:45 kick-off for Scotland, Denmark last night fell, so across you with 9:45, so I could pass out right now. And honestly, I've done this dance with Scotland many a year and had my heart broken and built up, and we always lose it in the most bizarre fucking heartbreak way. It's never just like a straightforward 4-0 pumping. It's always like a fucking last-minute goal with Italy or something, and they knock us out. So I was like, I could probably just catch some updates as I'm falling asleep. I said, I'm trying the sports bar first. I walked across it, and it was showing the more popular games. I mean, people here that don't recognise that Scotland's a fucking country. And when I said, any chance I can get I should show them screen. Because one more person says to me, in English, please, I'm going to go fucking mental, right? I'm talking to you, fucking English, you fucking dick. Right, just listen. So I said, I just showed them the screen, that it was Scotland, Denmark. So any chance I can get that on that screen? Yeah, but it was like, they had fucking the salsa music in the background. And I said, can I get a control just to put the volume up a wee bit? And he's like, I was the key in that ideal. So I ended up, I had to pay like 12 quid to get the control off him so I could put the fucking volume up. And then I'm sitting, and there was a table behind us that were Danish, but polite Danish. Like, everything's good, but I'm not polite Glaswegian, especially when football's on. And I talked Scott McTominay, who's the greatest fucking player that ever walked the earth, and why Man United level was just beyond me. Went overhead fucking kicking 3 minutes.
What a goal.
So I'm like,
did you tip the table over at that point, mate? That's one of the best goals I've ever seen.
But it's that we look so fucking up for it. I'm like, so I'm seeing this English couple beside me. They're about to chat about football stuff. I'm like, mate, you guys get here all the time, mate. You just live in the fucking World Cup. Well, if we get here, this is fucking 28 years for us. So I'm like, hey, here we go. Looked like at the start of the war, just going to absolutely steamroll Denmark, and then Scotland being Scotland. Can they get the second goal? They get a fucking dodgy penalty, brings it back. Then they get a man sent off. Then we go ahead. So at that point, I'm like, it's finally happening. There's no way. I mean, 8 minutes left. I'm not going to, because if we draw, they go through. We need to win. They score. And I'm like, this is fucking happening. But at this point, Kelly's left. She's up to them. And I'm just sitting with my head in my hands watching this fucking TV. The pub sort of died down a wee bit. And then Keir Tierney curls one out for outside the box, right? I swear to God, I did a lot, but I lost complete control anyway, but I jumped up so hard, this wooden stool in, launched behind me, right at another stool behind it, and knocked over 2 stools, right? So the bar manager can't see what's happening, so he's running around thinking a bar fight started. He runs with, and then he sees that it's fucking just me going absolutely mental because we're going to the fucking World Cup. And then I was cuddling the English couple, like, we're fucking doing it, let's go and get Canada in pot 1. And then fucking just that nervy bit at the end, like Scotland could still manage to lose a goal here, and we could still win. That would be the most Scottish thing ever. Fucking Kenny McLean launches one in for the halfway line and make it 4-2, and at that point I was just like, I was tipping people that weren't even working at the place and fucking buying me up. I was buying them. Hey, mate, give me 2 Jack Daniels and a pint of wine. And I went upstairs. I was voice noting my son. Yes, we're booking flights to America, right? We're just flying into America, and then from America, we'll decide how we get to where we go. But let's just get flights to the cheapest bit we can get to in America, Boston or New York or whatever, and then we'll fly from wherever that is. And I was just buzzing out my fucking bin lid. I know there's people listening to this who have no fucking interest in football. I don't give a shit, right? I have fucking 28 years. You can allow me 2 minutes. I've been fucking joyous about Scotland finally get to the World Cup.
Oh, mate, it's incredible. I mean, I know this is never reciprocated, but I think English fans will be really happy that Scotland are there. It will make the tournament spicier and more interesting. And it will certainly make the podcast spicy. So,
Yeah, I mean, you guys...
good. Don't book fucking flights over 2,000 trees, though, mate. Don't forget. You won't. It's not like Scotland are going to get to the final, so you won't need to be there late in the tournament.
I did say, now, whenever it starts, so I think it starts like June the 10th or something, so we'll be out by June 11th. So we'll just fly back. We'll go there for a 2-day jolly. We'll be knocked at the World Cup before you know it. And then away we go back to fly straight back into fucking 2,000 trees and go again.
Yeah. Get there, watch the first game. The first game's the one, isn't it? When the enthusiasm is there.
Yes.
Good. Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. Would you like to hear a fact of the
your
week?
mic was a wee bit more on brand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you want me to tell you about my night last night?
Yes.
Fucking brilliant. I am buzzing off this. So, last night, me and Miles put on Kneecap in Bristol. The biggest show of our that we've ever promoted. Outside of festivals, the biggest show I've ever done. Sold out 3,000 capacity. So it was an unbelievable night. Honestly, the night exceeded my expectations for the reasons I'm about to explain. But so Lizzie really loves Kneecap, right? So we booked a babysitter. But as it got closer and closer, it was like, well, Kit really loves Kneecap. He keeps asking us to put them on. There's a couple of songs he wants to listen to over and over again. And obviously I've started taking him to gigs. So I'm like, maybe we should bring him. It's like, unless you're a parent, I don't think you'd understand why anyone would do that, because you're sacrificing some of your own enjoyment for him. But it felt like the thing to do. So I went on the venue's website, and it's an 18+ venue. So I asked Miles. He said there won't have any wiggle room, no wiggle room. And then there's this guy I know who kind of is in charge of it all, called Aid. Lovely fucking guy who sorted me right out, because I was basically like, look, I realise this is not your job. There's no reason you should give a fuck, but I really want to bring my 7-year-old to this gig that I'm promoting. It's quite a weird thing, promoting. It's nothing like owning a festival. At Damnation, if you wanted to walk out to the front of the stage and do whatever the fuck you wanted, you can. Do you know what I mean? The whole place is open to you. I can do anything at Arctangent. But it's not like that when you promote. The band have their rules and the venue have their rules, and you have to follow both of them. So this guy, they ended up having their licensing person on it and their security guy on it. And then there was a load of rules that we had to abide by. Like, we had to be there by 7 p.m. at the latest. We had to be out of the venue by 10:30 p.m. at the latest. And like, it was all very strict. And he's like, I found you this secret area. Kit won't be allowed to go to merch or anywhere out into the crowd. There's a secret area near the stage you can watch from. So I was like, it felt weird. The band have a quite a strict policy, as most bands do at that level, of like completely clear backstages. It's not fucking hangers on. It's not friends. It's not family. It's not liggers. It's just them and their crew. So we get there, right? And they take us to this balcony, and we're fucking next to the band's dressing room, right? So we are 3 meters away from the band's dressing room. And we just sat there, and I was a bit awkward, like, we've really forced our way in here. I'm not really sure if I am vibing this. And then one of the band just walked past us and like nodded and was like, saw Kit, and he was like, I'll come over in a minute. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And then he came out, and Kit is like looking at this guy like he's fucking Michael Jackson, right? It's about the most famous person that Kit knows, unless it's Bruno Fernandes, it couldn't have topped it. And the guy comes over, he gives me and Lizzie a quick hello, but he's just focused on Kit, fucking. And then he's like, would you like a photo? And Kit's like, yeah. And he's like, let me get the rest of the band. So he goes in, all three of them come out. They are so nice for him. They're like, it's too dark here for a photo. Let's go in this room here. It's light. And I've got some absolutely brilliant photos of Kit with Kneecap. And then the night goes on, we watch the support band with Kneecap because we're on the secret VIP balcony. So Kit's like stood amongst the three members of Kneecap watching this support act play. And he doesn't realise how lucky he is, right? Because he's 7. Because when you're 7, everything's just fucking normal, isn't it? I'm like, you are the only under 18 in this whole venue. The only person out of all the fans that the band have spoken to is you. And then they come out. Before they played their set, they came out with a balaclava, gave it to Kit. And then none of this. So no one's, just to be clear, no one's asked them to do it. No one said that kid is the 2000 Trees guy's son or anything. They've just seen a kid and they're just being fucking nice. When they were on stage, halfway through their set, the manager came over to us and he gave Kit a fucking set list, which says to Kit and it's signed by every member of the band and got little messages on it. So like, just for anyone that doesn't, I mean, you know this, Gav, but for anyone listening who doesn't know bands are not like this, right? This is not normal. This is not normal. We've encroached on their personal space and they have made us, in particular, my kid, feel extremely welcome. And they're now giving him fucking presents that they've had to think about. And it's like, I'm just like, I said to the manager and the agent who I know very well was there. And I was like, what a bunch of absolute legends. No one's like this. No one's ever like this. Even at my own festival, I feel like I'm in the way with most headliners. They don't really want to engage with you. And I get that because it must be fucking annoying being famous. But just amazing, right? So Kit is like beaming and they haven't even fucking played a note yet. And then they come on and we've got this view where you can see 3,000 people beating the fuck out of each other and going absolutely crazy. And we can see the band. We're above it all, to the side and above. It's an incredible view that just to see what the crowd, those sort of size crowds from above, it's like watching a fucking wave. Kneecap smashed it. They played that. I think they've got like I can't remember what Radio 1 call it when it's like the song of the week. It's like the number one thing. Kneecap are currently it. They played that new single. It was we were the first crowd to hear it since it had been actually officially released. The crowd went fucking bonkers. I mean, it was just one of those nights where it was everything aligned. Like I didn't expect any of that shit to happen. And it was my biggest show ever. So me and Miles were a bit like, well, we've done all right. And I said to the agent at the end, thank you for sticking with the independent promoters, because what we may or may not have talked about on the pod before is that usually when a band gets big, Korn will have started with independent promoters and then eventually they will have been like with one of the big boys. And as things progress in band's career, they usually will ditch the independents, and Kneecap haven't, and the agent hasn't, and they've stuck with us. And what a fucking great fucking night. I mean, they played, obviously they played all the bangers. It was just, I'm buzzing, man. Fucking great.
Mate, possibly up there with the best story ever told in Two Promoters One Pod. I mean, that was fucking absolutely class. I mean, for all the reasons mentioned, I mean, just gonna, and it'd be so easy for Kneecap to just get in line with the thinking of the music industry and just be like, why bother about any of this? Like, why not just fucking go in your dressing room, sit there, you're the headliner, demand a few things, go out, make your money, play the crowd, and then back. But I mean, a level of effort. And you said that before about them as well. I mean, when I don't promote Kneecap clearly, and it's got my friend Johnny Almond who comes to Damnation, and my brother that time when we were backstage at the production office, and my brother being the cheeky bastard there, any chance we get a picture with Kneecap, for him to come out at that time after a show at the Barrowlands and come out to give what a 33-year-old man, my brother, 33-year-old man, the time of day, you get a picture. I mean, that's not even good for a 7-year-old kid, which sometimes you get. There is that whole beaming look. Although I'm pretty sure my brother had the same look Kit did when they came in to see him. It's like, here's these two fucking guys that are my heroes. So, it's they seem like clearly just fucking good humans. You know what I mean? Never mind how great as a band. What a story, James. You've
They
cheered me
really
right.
are. And my wife's quite starstruck by them. And I said to her this morning, you've waited around. We've known each other for like nearly 10 years. You've waited a long time for this for this relationship to actually work for you. And finally, the guy in the music industry has come through. And she's fucking like, it was just a great experience. She's not interested in meeting fucking Alexis on Fire, but Kneecap's pretty cool. So yeah, awesome. I am genuinely buzzing from that. So do you want to hear a fact of the week?
Mate, if we get facts of the week, but I'm mailing all the points today. I, of course, got a fact of the week.
Right, well, there's nothing more factual than a poll. So big thank you to Daniel Singleton for setting up this Facebook poll about which of the podcast listeners, which festival did you attend in 2025, right? So 476 people voted. So I think it's not a bad number. I think that would count as on the YouGov minimum number to make it an official poll. So the winning, he came up with all the categories. So the first one, the winning one is called Riffs and Screams, and that's for people that went to ATG and Damnation. So 23% of those that voted, which is 114 people, went to ATG and Damnation. Second category, 22% is called I Hate the Outdoors. That's Damnation only. Then we've got Chin Strokers Anonymous, ATG only, 17%. I Love Ciders and Wasps, Trees only, 14%. So all the festivals are quite well covered. Then there's the Scarlet Special, just Trees and ATG, 9%. The Trifecta, people that went to fucking all three festivals. So 7% of the 500 odd people that voted went to all three. Incredible. And this is also incredible. I'm only here for the memes. I went to none of the festivals, 5%. And the bottom category, the lowest one with 19 votes, is opposite end of the spectrum, is people that went to Trees and Damnation. So there are still 19 people that went to Trees and Damnation. I don't know. I fucking love that poll. I mean, I don't know what conclusions I'm drawing from it, but I like it.
I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible. I mean, I've always felt, I feel like because Damnation versus led into Two Promoters One Pod, we did drag, the initial starting point was very Damnation heavy. A lot of people who were from that podcast who were already in tune with, I will listen to Gav talk shite with someone else. So it's nice to see the growth, especially with Trees. I felt at the start we were really struggling with targeting Trees, and then obviously we tried harder. We done those live shows there, we put the advertisement up there, and it's nice to see that growth as well. But that is definitely, when you miss Arctangent in the middle and you go to Trees and Damnation, surely that there must have been a holiday in the middle there. There's no, that person that went to Trees and Damnation clearly also would love Arctangent. There's a reason for them not being there. So I mean, the support, I mean, even the ones that, I mean, the podcast we see, I mean, I noticed you've got quite mushy recently with the whole sort of like, the amount of people that are saying, oh, I've made my way through to the festivals. And I do remember when I was, because when you think back a minute, I was selling you this podcast. I was fucking selling, I was like, I wanted you to be the other half of this podcast. And I was pitching it to you, and I was telling you, yep, we will sell tickets. I promise you, we will sell tickets if this goes well. So it's nice that they are supposed to proofs in the pudding. The people are saying that's what's hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a bunch of people recently, isn't there? Like, oh, I came to the podcast because of this festival, but now I'm going to this one as well, and that's great. Yeah, love it. Let's keep people.
Then your squad of 13. I mean, there was a fair chunk of those squad of 13. There, your Ollies and Reddles and Big Tom, who were like, I'll give it a bash because Gav invited me, and it sounds like I could have a few drinks, and then came and like, fucking hell, that's actually a lot of fun. You know what I mean? I don't want to do 2 days of it, but it's a lot of fun.
Redders is still getting over Castle Rat, I think. So if I could send me a photo of Castle Rat a couple of days ago, he's still working it out.
He's totally, I don't know what's happening here. James has been fucking lying to us all along. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Bro, so
Right.
before, how do
Mate,
you,
mate, I've got a big thing for you here, right? So do you want to know, so I haven't told Gav that this is about to happen. I'm going to tell you, we're doing an Arctangent band announcement on Wednesday next week, and I am going to tell you who's in that announcement. You ready?
hey, hold the bus because this podcast comes out tomorrow.
Mate, don't worry about it. I've got Shifty. Shifty's going to bleep it. I just want to know what you think. I just want to tell you who's playing Arctangent next year.
James, you know I mean, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear, right? But I swear to God, I just done that whole. I don't want to be that. I know something for you. Don't know, guy. You know, you're going to drop this on me in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. So here you
Hey,
go.
fuck. Scott,
Ready?
this guy. This was not my plan. I'm sorry, but I do want to know who's playing Arctangent.
Yeah. Okay, so the final band closing the festival is...
Put that in me. I mean, honestly, but as a fucking nobody, obviously, I'm all over it. All over it.
Okay, Thursday night headliner, main stage.
Good.
Friday night headliner, main stage. Sheet one fucking band that was never really going to happen and is happening.
Yeah.
The headlining Wednesday night. We've also got, why don't you repeat the band names back at me just to make Shifty's job harder to fucking edit it? Because I've told him he's got to blur the mouth. He's got to fucking beep it as well. And also, on top of that, I think you probably already know. So that, mate, is, I think, the only thing I can compare it to, if I'm bigging myself up, is the fucking 5 headliners we did last year at Trees when it felt like the biggest thing we'd ever done. I'm just fucking, I feel like every few years you knock it out of the park and get all the page one bands, and that's what's happened this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, I kind of make any reaction or add any insight to it. I know Shifty will be here for the next fucking 3 days trying to get out. So, incredible. I think he's going to keep, it ticks a lot of boxes, going to keep a lot of people. I mean, there's none of those that people are going to go, doesn't really suit me. They're going to be like, oh, either fuck yes, or especially in the one you said in the middle, which I don't know a great deal. Obviously, I know the legend, but I don't know a great deal about that band actually musically. They're still like, I'm full in just to check out something new and something that's so fucking well suited to Arctangent as well. So, and the other bands I knew about them already. And I mean, we band site to the podcast. You'd wanted to go with a couple of those bands for the first announcement, and between us, you were good enough to hold them back. So, brilliant. Fucking let's go. Arctangent next year is going to be incredible.
Lovely. Thanks, mate. Okay, well, one thing we haven't really talked about that much recently, either off camera or on camera, is that we are going to do some live podcast shows very, very fucking soon. Starting on December the 11th in Brighton, going to Cardiff on December the 12th, and finishing in Manchester on the 13th of December with Saturday night, big fucking party afterwards. There'll probably be a party after all of them, really, but particularly big fucking party on the Manchester show. So how you feeling, Gav? Are you not gonna have peaked, are you? You still have some gas in the tank?
mate. We're doing this pod is in, and here's, because I've been thinking about the way the storytelling of it for the year, about the whole, rather than us gonna, because we're going to do the bingo thing again, or like off the board, but just like the year that was for us, in the kneecap situation with you and shit you didn't want to get into, and then obviously the Bob Villain situation we went through with myself. Well, I had a bit of a Villain thing that I don't want to commit to the internet. Happy to talk about it. I want to talk more deeply about the whole crippling alcoholism situation. There's a bunch of stuff that you're a bit like, this is stuff that I don't really want to talk about, which can be snipped up and put on Twitter. But like we did in the first tour, maybe some of the stuff is a bit more sensitive the way we can tackle it. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, and we're going to be planning for the year ahead. Manchester needs to be sold out now. I now haven't seen the press shed, man. I think it's oversold. What at. So I would have, as soon as I get the chance to, Manchester is sold out. Okay, I don't even know if we should.
Well, why don't we just say if you're fucking still waiting, going, this is it. Like, turn it off when you get. It's still on sale right now, right?
I know, but that's what I mean. I probably should be getting this. I should be getting it sold because if another fucking. I mean, James, I don't think you did. I mean, like, that was 450 people standing in there. Now we want to put seats in it, right? We want to put seats in it. It's already 350 tickets sold, dude. Fucking, there's going to be people sellotaped to the roof. There is no guest.
Okay.
Listen to me. There is no guest list for that show. Lou's Brews, maybe, right? There is no guest list for that show unless you're sitting up there on stage beside us because that is fucking at capacity.
Mate, my mum and dad are coming to that show.
The Manchester one. Send them to Brighton.
Too late. Hotels are booked, mate. They like a party, they do.
Oh, Kerry's coming for Manchester too. I mean, everybody, the party's going to be the party. Like that. It's a show. But listen, Manchester sold out, okay? Whether you manage to grab a ticket tomorrow before I get a chance to speak to someone and get it sold out or not, Manchester is sold out. Brighton, Cardiff, come on. I mean, we can't have a situation where Manchester's doing 4 times the sales of another major city. So, come on. Like Brighton, let's fill it. Let's fill Cardiff. It's going to be fucking great. There's going to be so much new shit. If you enjoy this podcast, it's not a rerun in the first one. We're doing none of that stuff again. It's going to be plenty that we do not discuss over here. Guy Alex Laidlaw, who I've mentioned before, sent you some program you can use where you can do pre-submitted questions for per city, which I'm going to try and get set up. So rather than doing because we've had the best and worst versions of going to the audience. You do it somewhere, Birmingham, Glasgow, Manchester. It's fucking spectacular and it's very organic and it's a lot of fun. We've also had a couple of live ones. We've done it festival sets, which are really sucked the air out of the room. And we don't want any moments when they're sucked out of the room, so we'll probably go somewhere between having pre-planned excellent answers that we've had a chance to think about and give you something you just don't know. And then maybe if there's a good feeling in the room, especially somewhere like Manchester, chuck the mic out for the last 15 minutes rather than depending on good stuff to be coming back here for 45 minutes because you got a couple of fucking questions about data capture and then it's unless you know you do not want to be in that stage answering those questions. So I'm buzzing about it. I'm looking forward to it a lot. We've got Shifty out the road with us as well this time and Tom Begley.
Yep.
It's going to be fucking brilliant. But I want Brighton Cardiff. I want people from Brighton and Cardiff to stand up. I want them to fucking come and enjoy with us.
Well, they'll be getting a similar show. I mean, the shows are different every night, completely different every night, but it's not a lesser thing. It's the same thing. We're going to give it the absolute beans in both of those. Can't fucking wait. Yeah, it's cool. I want to get to Brighton as early as we can, just so we can have a little wander around the seafront and stuff. I really like Brighton.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, and all tickets are available. Hopefully it will not. The Manchester ones with Brighton and Cardiff from tomorrow. ctickets.com/2 promoters 1 pod. Shifty usually sticks the links in. It would be great. It's like, I'm going to be so, by the time we get to Brighton, I'm going to be like, fucking let's go. Now, Brighton, by its nature, it's such a small cap room. It's the smallest show we've ever done by the time we get there. Even it's sold out. So I want to be a full room. I think the guys for Toro are coming. So we are definitely going to have some specialist stuff in there to rinse those guys. And get on. It's going to be fucking brilliant. I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah. Fucking can't wait, mate. When you get back, we should probably have a chat about what we're doing. And anyone who's sat there thinking, fuck Manchester, I can guarantee Gav's not going to get round to turning those tickets off until he gets back from Egypt. So you've got at least a day or two. So go quick. Let's fucking pack it out. It'll be fine.
Why are you trying? James, listen to the words I'm saying to you. It is packed out. It is packed out. You can explain to everyone who's standing why they're standing, okay? Every person.
Okay. Talk to me about eyesore merch, mate.
I can tell you all about eyesore merch. Eyesore merch probably do good joggies and chinos that I should have packed and brought with me to Egypt because I saved the fucking issue I've had. Eyesore merch. I believe they absolutely smashed it at Damnation. I had nothing but good things from Ali. I haven't had a proper debrief for the sponsors yet, but I believe they're all back on board and ready to go. Christmas presents. We're getting to that point now. You know the cost of merch. I have rattled on about it forever. We've told you why it's so fucking expensive. ISO merch are the team, the company that avoid the pitfalls of expensive merch because it's produced in such vast quantities and they just take a cut off the top of it. So go and get yourself, doesn't matter now, if it's Almond Rat, Pig Destroyer, Agoraphobic Nosebleed, Alexis on Fire, Taylor fucking Swift, Oasis. You can get merch, presents for all the family, no matter what they listen to, from isomerch.com. James, you need to get the Iron Maiden Volume 3 Jigsaw. Even if you're just buying it for yourself, it needs to happen.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm liking the colouring book idea, to be honest, at the moment.
I call it colour books. They've got games, puzzles, they've got quirky shit coming out their eyeballs. It's a good pun. It's a great site. At checkout, use pod10, get a full of 10% off your order at isomerch. Check it out. They're just going to have a look at the site. It's fucking enormous. It takes you a day to get through their inventory. It's a brilliant company and the brilliant people to work with. And now all three of our festivals work with them too, which is brilliant.
Happy days. Well, look, at the halfway point, Gav, I just want to say well done to Egypt on having a better Wi-Fi connection than Glasgow does, because it's been fucking remarkable. So,
I know, to be fair, I am in the business suite, and when I got here, I said, "Do you have like can I get? I mean, how fucking can I get wired? Can I give me an Ethernet cable?" And the guy goes, "I can't do that, but I'll put you on a premium user." You know what I mean, so when the millionaires sit down and they're fucking sacking people for across the world, I said, "Oh, get me right on that," and I'm just going to go and fetch myself 2 alcoholic drinks. and a bunch of hankies, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. So, the premium Wi-Fi seems to be fucking absolutely brilliant.
good.
My power thing is what I'm worried about a wee bit. I've got 40 minutes. I think we could manage your 40 minutes.
Okay. Keep going.
We'll do some. Well, what have we done this an hour? We'll chuck in a couple of questions, and then
Yeah.
I mean, I need to do an on the record on the absolute fly because I haven't thought about that at all for the second league to bounce.
Your man is Ron. So look, let's do a couple of questions. Obviously, you may not have. I know you're a pretty detailed prepper normally, Gav, but I don't think you've even seen these questions, so we'll take it easy on you. Christopher Kelly asks, we know your early musical influences, and we obviously hear about your current vibes every week. However, I think there would be some mileage in just shooting the shit about random bands that influence you over the years. And I've added an extra rule in here, which is that we're trying not to talk about the same bands we've already fucking talked about. So look, I'm not my answer to this question is not coherent in any way. It's just a bit of a random bands. There must be. I'm really interested to know more about your musical taste. So I'll go first, and then you can just fucking throw some random shit at us that we haven't talked about before. But I mean, my thing is like once I started reading Kerrang and watching fucking MTV, I was just obsessed with it, and like everything I could get, I wanted to get. So whereas now I'm like nowadays I sort of pick from certain pools of rock. Like if there's a really popular new post metal band, I'll really check them out. But there's some genres I fucking don't go near. But back in the day, I was going near everything. So I mean, there was a time, I think in 1998 when I was 20, when I can vividly remember telling people that my 3 favourite bands were Korn, Bon Jovi and 3 Colours Red, which is a fucking hell of a mix, and also a hell of an admission that Bon Jovi were once your favourite band. But like, at that time, Korn were on Follow the Leader, and I loved all 3 of those albums at the time. Bon Jovi had this massive 90s resurgence starting with Keep the Faith. And I'd fucking seen Bon Jovi quite a few times live. And I mean, to say that I love Bon Jovi at that point would be a mild understatement. And 3 Colours Red, who were they were sort of like the baby Wild Hearts. They were like the next band doing that similar thing. Their first 2 albums are fucking amazing. So those 3 bands, I spent probably the whole of, I mean, maybe this is why I didn't have many girlfriends at university. I spent the whole of university telling everyone that one of my top 3 bands was fucking Bon Jovi. So that's that. And then a band that I haven't talked about before on here is Skid Row. Now, they were fucking really important, and I'll tell you the reason they were important is because they bridged the sort of 80s rock and metal for me. They like, because they weren't soft like Motley Crue was soft. They weren't soft like Bon Jovi was soft. Skid Row had like a metal bit to them. So I do actually on occasion listen to Skid Row, but they were fucking a big gateway band for me. So I'm just listing out all the fucking uncool shit that I used to listen to. And a band that I never bang on about nowadays, who were fucking incredible, is the Foo Fighters. Were you a Foo Fighters fan ever?
Yeah, I mean, yes, in the point, like, I'm still a Foo Fighters fan now. What I found with Foo Fighters was they had an absolute raging banger on each record, and a lot of filler with the rest of it. I just feel like if you do it with, like, the best of Foo Fighters is just such a fucking absolute banger packed record, whereas I never, I mean, the Call and the Shape probably would be the exception to that, and it's probably a great record. Never went too deep in them, but I've always, I mean, if Foo Fighters were playing at a festival, I would always go see them.
Yeah. I mean, the colour and the shapes are worldy. Like, I forget how good it is because I feel like they've become they're fine. You're totally right that nowadays they still write bangers, but the albums are often forgettable. Those first three albums still stand up, and particularly the colour and the shapes. I mean,
What's the third album? Do you remember off the top of your head?
it's the white one. There's Nothing Left to Lose, is it? It had Learn to Fly on it, and Stacked Act. It starts with Stacked Actors. It's really good. It's not as good as the colour and the shape, and it's got quite weird production. But so the Foo Fighters, when I was at university, fucking loved them. Saw them at the Royal Court in Liverpool, which is only, I don't know, I bet it doesn't exist anymore, but it was a couple of thousand people, amazing. And then on that sort of line, anything Brit rock, I mean, I know Foo Fighters weren't British, but anything Brit rock I was into. So I was into Feeder, I was into Skunk Anansie, Muse, Terrorvision, all the ones I've talked about a lot, like the Wild Arts and the Manics. Just everything that fit into that, I was all over it. I don't know if we've ever talked about the band A, but A's first album, How I Used to Build Things.
Far too much. We've talked about it.
Yeah, but again,
I feel like I'm in a crowd to you every other weekend. I'm in a crowd to you watching A again. It's like fucking, I need to stop it. Sing
I think A have been overlooked. I think we need to give A more love. Particularly those first couple of albums, fucking great. So then after that, I know you love me to mention my gap year, but I went away. I mean, you're clearly a man who's never been on a gap year, because no one that's been on a gap year would have got in that taxi circus that you got in earlier. It's like, first rule of a gap year is don't get fucked over at the airport. Basically, they're there to fuck you. You land in Bangkok, bad things can happen.
Well, listen, I'm gonna dispute that, because I didn't. I got like a 45-minute journey for like £15. So I would argue that I got a very, very good deal. It was just dangerous and terrifying the entire journey.
Good. So weirdly, in 2001, when I went away, this is around the time Napster got shut down. But I wasn't techie enough to even know what Napster really was, or what streaming was, or to even own a mobile phone. So I had a year where my new music listening entirely stopped, right? And I went away with, this is weird to say, I went away with a mini disc player, right? And about 20, I mean, it's hard to imagine that even ever existed. Was that a dream? But I went away with a backpack and 20 mini discs in it, and that was all we listened to for the whole fucking time. And so when I came back, I was like, fucking give me rock music, buy Kerrang. I think my mum had been buying Kerrang for me every week while I was away. That's how into it I was. And
my mum barely bought food, and your mum and your mum's fucking buying you Kerrang. I swear to God, James, man, you had your arse wiped to the age of 21.
So fucking the Jack Daniels was hit. So I got back, and my memory of that is that the bands everyone was chatting about was 100 Reasons, Lost Prophets, and System of a Down. They were like the three that were being tipped to break in sort of 2002. So I mean, clearly not their careers took 3 very different trajectories there. But and then I kind of just meandered around until 2003 and 2005, when we've talked about before, Mars Volta appeared, and I discovered Opeth on Ghost Reveries, Blackwater Park time. And from then on, I'm then down the ATG, Roadburn, Damnation, rabbit hole of Neurosis, Cult of Luna, and more extreme metal. And, you know, the next 20 years of my life we can talk about another day. We've probably covered a lot of that in the past. But I don't know if that answers in any way Christopher's question, but that's some bands that I fucking... one final one. Do you know who doesn't get enough love? Audioslave. Audioslave's first album is fucking borderline 10 out of 10. And they don't get enough love. So good. So fucking amazing.
I mean, obviously, but I'm not going to, maybe not a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely a absolute banger, a record. I enjoyed them all. Went to the headline the first download, didn't they? Someone pulled it and they ended up being fucking, it was Limp Bizkit pulled it, obviously they ended up being the headliner. I think I saw him a couple of times. Okay, on the spot, I'm hard to tell what I've actually went into on here and what I haven't before. I was from a weird background. I never really had a lot of musical influences. No one in my family played music. No one, my friends' families ever played music. No one was particular. I went to a school, there was no goths and mods or fucking anyway. I mean, you played football and you fought. That was it. There was no music, wasn't involved in the conversation. So it was strange to me because my earliest recollection was my dad playing Pink Floyd The Wall and a Manchester band then called Jesus Jones, and me having some sort of connection to it at whatever age I'd have been, 7, 8, 9, and I've got there's a genuine connection, interest to this music without really knowing too much about it. And I remember The Wall in particular being quite memorable for being a young boy. And then going through school, just a lack of any sort of like direction. It was just all that Dutch hard dance music called Gabba. And we did get into that quite big when we would go to record shops and pick up these CDs for like 35, 40 quid at a time. You never even knew it was going to be on it. You just knew it was going to be like Gabba music. And we'd go back, we'd pull our money together, we'd chuck in a fiver, and we'd go back and we'd listen to this fucking Gabba music. And that gave me through my teenage years, and dipped in and out. You're like, so, I mean, I've listened to a wee bit of Madonna and a bit of fucking, I mean, I really, really did love Alanis Morissette, still do, love Jagged Little Pill. But I think I was looking for direction. I think by the time I have spoken before with my mate Chris Dykes, who's the guy who came to this year's Damnation, I'd mentioned the last one, gave me that VHS tape with Smashing Pumpkins, Colin, Marilyn Manson, maybe Incubus. I was ready for it. I'm fucking desperately looking for somewhere to go with. And then obviously the next step, which I've also mentioned before, was seeing that Raging Speedhorn, a band who didn't need to look like Marilyn Manson, could also do that aggressive music. And by the time I got to college, it was a fucking... I mean, I was taking in too much information across the spectrum. I mean, because I was getting introduced to like Joy Division and the Beatles and Spinetrink and fucking Pixies, and it was just like an overload actually for the age of 17, maybe 21, 22. I was just like, it was, you couldn't even like process it and catalogue the things I hate on your list, like Doolittle by the Pixies and fucking The Height of Callousness by Spineshank, and the same first listen you're getting, with no one providing any sort of like, well, this is why this is good, or this inspired Nirvana or whatever. So there was a bit of hard graft in that, getting through it. I don't know if I've said this before, but I started an illegal CD production in college and made an absolute fucking fortune, basically. For a guy who knows nothing about IT or how to do stuff, I went and learned how to put the copying bit into my PC, and then I got a stickers bucketing, and I had a whole production thing. And my dad would take me out to do a labouring shift in a building site and get paid on one end of the week fucking £40, and I'd make £400 in fake CDs, selling them to bricklayers and fucking and joiners and everybody else. And I suppose that was just part of my entrepreneurial spirit. But that, because I was doing that, and because like everybody wanted Oasis standing on the shoulders of giants and Shania Twain's and whatever, the Coldplay's Parachutes, I was listening to a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even venture to do myself. But I was just buying those records from HMV, copy them, and then sell them on. If anyone's listening to this who would want to prosecute me for such things. This is completely fictional. And then I went for there to I went to that first metal gig. My first gig ever was Natalie Imbruglia, I was a massive fan of Natalie Imbruglia first record, and then I went to Radiohead playing in Glasgow Green, and then my first metal gig was Amen, Rage Against the Speed, Torn and Charger. And from then it's really just been a sort of path down, enjoying the type of extreme. I wouldn't even say that I changed that much really, even since that first like hearing Thumber. It's more like I went, oh right, okay, then I get into some sort of, I don't know, fucking progressive punk or whatever. I mean, I've stayed quite true to that, what I enjoyed from the first, up to the point of watching it in fucking The Night of Salvation and The Damnation itself. I mean, you get all those cracking bands where you can, in between and all the shit we've spoke about, but that is kind of my influence. I hope that answered some of that. Yeah, Chris, I don't know which bits of those I've told before and which bits are brand new, but that's where I got my influences from.
Good. I've got a couple of questions on that. You know, you're saying you're into Gabba. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Did you ever, Fear Factory, they did that remanufacture album where it was, so they took their famous album and they remixed it. And there was like Gabba and stuff on it. Like it was, because I remember there was that period, whatever year that would have been, where rock music suddenly decided that dance music was good. I think there was a film soundtrack and they decided all these bands were going to they were going to meld together. And Fear Factory were the one who did a whole album of it, really, of kind of remixes, but it was, they weren't really remixes. They were proper collabs. Did you ever listen to that? Was that
I think it did.
Metal versus Gabba thing?
It never caught me, but the one that I was always impressed with and always enjoyed who done the Gabba style properly was Alec Empire. I mean, when Alec Empire went fucking get full on hardstyle Gabba, they went for it. There was like messing about with some, let's get a wee guitar riff, and it was like just fucking him going boom boom with accents. It's basically just a harder style like EDM, with just more emphasis on the bass. And I always enjoyed. I saw Alec Empire a Leeds or a Reading once, and it felt like a fucking full scale Gabba rave. So I was still enjoying bits of that. I mean, as I said before as well, when I go in the gym, I only listen to dance music in the gym because I need that sort of mindless beat in the background rather than focusing Tom York's or fucking Trent Reznor's lyrics. So I still very much like that music, but not in the same way that I like my post-metal.
Yeah. Did you enjoy yesterday me sending you a list of 100 bands that have released new albums this year?
I shared that into my like the metals chat that I've got, and then there's something like, "Oh, hello, autism." It's like, and alphabetical fucking order, 1 to 100.
I made it alphabetical. Do you know why I made it alphabetical? Because I didn't want you to know what my albums of the year was. I basically copied and pasted my own albums of the year, but I changed it because I didn't want you to know. Yeah, I'm just trying to get you ready, mate. You've got less than a month now.
So listen, I think I'm 4 deep. I think I've got 4 on the chart. I listened to Callous Cowboys one yesterday from your list, and I tried. I knew about the Deftones one, but I revisited it. I was like, okay, because now I had a bit of time to digest it, and then back to the Deftones one as well. It was weird, because I tell you, last year, and this, I had no idea what was going to happen. I thought that at least 3 or 4 of our albums would overlap. We managed to do a top 10 exclusive to each other, which was fucking bizarre. We'll see how that plans out this year. I'll have my top 10. I'm much better prepared than I was at this point last year.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I've got an idea. I don't know. There's still there's been some really strong stuff come out recently, and honestly, that I don't want to bore everyone about Psychonaut again, but it's very rarely that sometimes you see something live and it totally changes your experience of the album. And going back to Psychonaut since Damnation has been a real fucking treat. So yeah.
Okay, listen, we'll do a quick stop just so I can, because I've got 10 minutes left in this battery and it's going to die. So we'll stop here. Oh, mate, I just realised that I thought this year I've not really seen any of this hotel. I just did like a laundry to find the toilet there. Walked in this bit called the King Room. I mean, everything's so fucking beautiful. It's like, I've just seen the lobby, my room, And then the restaurants I've been into is like, the place is fucking spectacular. Honestly, see if you're looking for that atmosphere, if you're not looking for immaculate vibes, you're just looking for people to pander to your every need. I mean, this is a gaff. This is an absolute fucking gaff. So,
Mate, send it over. I'm into it. Is it a no kids hotel?
well, so it's a weird thing because, well, I'm here just now, and there's a kid. The kids are allowed this hotel, but there is not a single child. You would need to dislike your child to bring them here, because it's like there's nothing happening. There is like, it's just so tranquil. Every fucking corner around me, everything's so beautifully polished and tranquil. So it's not really like Kerry and I would normally go somewhere with a bit more something happening. Like there's no like in the end of the night entertainment, whatever. It's just like, right, that's your night done, go to your bed. So if you're into that, if you want, like I did want to come to an absolutely no stress, no activities, no fucking nonsense. Other than a massage is a bit as much of an activity as I'm looking for this holiday. But this is definitely the place.
So anyway, you're not going on day trips, Andy. You're just going to see the road to the airport on one way and then back again. And
somebody said to me about just get yourself to the local market and get yourself like a pair of trousers to say, I'm not leaving this hotel unless it's on fire. I'm not here to experience fucking Egypt, mate. I'm here to experience sun, a pool and beer and some Jack Daniels that I brought with me. So I am not interested in sampling local cultures this holiday. Do that to another one. I'm just here to decompress with damnation and fucking give my wife some time.
Shifty, clip the fuck out of that. I am not interested in experiencing local cultures. That's all you need. Lovely.
Cancelled.
Stephen Edwards has a question for you. When booking bands whose members are in more than one band, do you inquire often about their availability? For example, booking Between the Buried and Me for ATG this year meant the guitarist from sometime in February was on site. Similarly, if Bear were booked, it would mean by default that Cobra the Impaler were free on the same day. Would it at least make you ask the question, or is it not a consideration at all? I mean, I'm trying to think of some examples from Damnation. I mean, you had Matt Pike there with High on Fire, is also in Sleep. That there's no doubt some others. What are your thoughts on that? Do you ever think about it?
I know. I mean, I think about sometimes because sometimes it's like I was convinced that it was somebody in Amun Ra and Vigtud. I was utterly convinced that
There used to be.
There used to be. So I mean, at the start, I was trying to get through to the agent, go like Vigtud are doing a fucking 14-hour set as an Amun Ra, and is this still an overlap? Because that's going to be an issue, and I never really get any clarity on it, which is probably the reason because it's not a case. How do you get a member there and then you get them? What I would say, I do consider it, but what I find that there's no money off. There's no like, oh, by the way, okay, Joe Bloggs is already on site, so that'll be a flight less or a hotel room less. In fact, what I find often is they still advance the entire thing like that person's only there with that one band and not two. So they still ask for the same amount of hotel rooms. They still ask for the same amount of AAAs. If essentially the person that's involved get two AAAs. And they just got a bit of business. So I'm trying to get anyone that I've been. I mean, there's an Australian band, I think it's Werewolves, the Antichrist Imperium, and it's they're involved with like voices, that whacker cock scene with like Sam Lawrence voices. They're from Australia. They get a couple of guys in it. That's one of those occasions where if you're flying that band in, this is the happening of just I just keep in mind there. If you're flying that band in, try and make the most of the situation. I mean, have them play, both bands is one example where off the cuff where I could think you would do that. Otherwise, I tend to find like if you went to, let's just say Sleep, were an active touring band. I tend to find when you ask the artists as well about what you want to do in another band, they're not keen in doing their mind and their rehearsals and everything set on the one band that they're doing it with, and that they don't tend to be that kind of flip-flopping and just saying, oh, well, I should be totally for me to switch from high fire mode straight to sleep mode, if that was even a realistic possibility. So no, I don't give it really any more thought than trying to avoid potential problems, what I thought might have had to Vigtud and all that.
I mean, you just jogged my memory there, because I'm right in thinking that a member of Low is also in We Lost the Sea, right?
Yes.
So once we were into the We Lost the Sea booking, I had Robin from Pelagic on at me being like, come on, this is the chance to get low. You've got one of them here. So still more people had to come from Australia, but one of them was there, so in that situation, it makes the booking more financially doable for the band and the festival. So you are doing that. I find that big bands rarely want to have these conversations. So you're not like, they really compartmentalize their lives. They put so much into it. So if you've got someone like Maynard or Chino, they're in multiple bands. How often do you see those bands playing the same festivals? Not often. My Chemical Romance come to the UK. It's unlikely you can ring up because they've got loads of different side projects. My Chemical Romance, it's around the same time as 2000 Trees. It's extremely unlikely that they're going to want to sort of change their brain from the thing they're doing into something else. You just find bands don't want to do it.
Maynard's a fucking perfect example. You only get Tool or Pussifer or a Perfect Circle, and when they go out, they go out as a Perfect Circle, and you get this bunch of fucking shows that they do. I think I've done Hellfest next year, and the year before it was Pussifer, and you very rarely, if ever, see Tool will play one day and then Pussifer the next, just because I've got the most expensive commodity and they're already on site, which is Maynard himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you imagine Simon from Biffy, he's doing Empire State Bastard at Trees. It doesn't follow that he's like, oh yeah, I'll just go and do some Biffy acoustic songs in the forest. It's just their brains aren't, they don't want to switch. It's not as simple for them. When they're true artists, then it's not that easy. So they don't really want to move between projects. But it's always worth asking the question. I mean, clearly you can't be saying to Matt Pike, well, you're here, let's do Sleep. That's mad. But with the example that Stephen gave of sometime in February and Between the Buried and Me, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know who Sometime in February were, right? The band asked via the agent, the agent doesn't even book that band, I don't think, but they asked the question, well, we're here, can we also do this? And I was like, oh, I'll have a listen. And I'm like, yeah, works perfectly. Some of the audience will know it. Because this is the weird thing. Some of your audience know the scene better than you do, or little pockets of it better than you do. Yeah, and it went down well. And like the example of Bear and Cobra the Impaler, maybe you book them both in the same year, but I don't think that really affects the budget for the festival much. So I don't know. It's each case on its own merits, I suppose, is the ultimate answer. But big bands are always going to be like, fuck off, no chance. Okay, for one final question. Or we can do. Well, let's just. Do you want to do two or one?
Let's go on. I'm here. I've still got about half my shandy left. I've got a question left in me.
Okay, so Sean McSweeney says, do you think the UK would benefit from festival grounds where multiple festivals could be held and the infrastructure could be shared, and all that needs to happen is the traders change and the stage scrims, etc.?
I mean, yes, and then it's about the ground. It's about the ground. It's the best, most enjoyable experience an outdoor festival or any festival, could have, even an indoor one like Damnation, is good quality dry grass. It makes such a difference to your weekend to be able to lie in the grass, even if it was sunny or just a bit overcast. It's such a beautiful festival experience. But as we know, as people who live in the UK, you don't always get it that way. And Trees and Arctangent have went through, and Bloodstock and Download as they call it, and Glastonbury and Leeds and Reading and everyone else in between have had those weekends where your site is just a fucking swamp. Then what? That's not a swamp that's usable in 2 weeks' time, a month's time. I mean, in some cases, not even for a couple of months if the farmers actually try to get their land back to any sort of usable, and it doesn't even need to be farm land. It's like, you know more about this than I do, but you can really fuck up a site for a year if you get the worst weather. And one of those festivals are getting it. So then what you need to do is you need a Hellfest site, which is a sort of like hybrid. I mean, I wish one you get to Hellfest just to see how they've built it, but they own the site. They have put those walkways in, they've put the artificial grass in, they've put the waterways in. So even if it's wet Hellfest, they could probably do it again the following week, which is why they were able to give it to Knotfest on like one of their opening days without any worrying about damaging their sight. Now, that's millions upon millions upon millions of pounds. And then who are you giving it to? Who are you sharing it with? I mean, it's like, where is it going to be? I mean, aye, it would be the dream. I'd love to do. I mean, you can see what I've tried to do at Beck Arena and the 4 years we've been there, and how each time I'm trying to make it more, it belongs to us. It's more identifiable as Damnation. As I spoke to the last one, I'd love to put an archway outside, and some things is cost prohibitive. But I mean, if you could do that and you were able just to go in and tailor a festival to it, it would be great. But I just don't see the circumstances where it would be possible. You need to have that 10 years in the making, 15 years in the making Hellfest site where it's compatible and can endure the British weather. Whereas at the minute, nothing's like that. So what you've got really is a situation like Beck Arena, which you can do that every single weekend then, but it's just concrete, and that's not, you don't have Art Tangent at Beck Arena. You don't have 2,000 trees at Beck Arena. You want to have, when you get the opportunity in the summer to go out there and lie in a field and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you think about 2016 Download or 2012 2000 Trees or fucking few different years at Arctangent, those would be very difficult to run festivals afterwards. Like a bit wet would kind of be okay, but I remember, 2016 Download. Oh, there was 1 year at Arctangent, 2018 or 19, where I remember being stood there on the Sunday and looking at my feet and just not being able to believe what I was seeing. Like channels through the mud, which were taking rivers of water down the field. And it's like, this is not, what the fuck has happened here? It's like the Somme. I mean, it was so fucking bad. So in those situations, I think you'd be in trouble. There was a guy, I think we might have talked about this on the podcast before. There was a thing that happened in Hyde Park once where they dumped a load of wood chip onto the grass. To get over that problem, they got like 100 trucks of wood chip and they dumped it onto the grass and they spread it out, and it was fine, apart from the fact that all the wood chip has to come up again. So it's a massive expense, a massive job. The grass doesn't grow again unless you take the wood chip away when you put it in that volume. So there's no perfect solution. The funny thing is, Sean, this already exists, right? So you've got All Points East in London doing back-to-back different shows, of which Outbreak is one of them this year. Outbreak, what were they part of last year? Was it called Lido Festival? Now, there were different big outdoor shows happening. If I'd wanted to buy my way into 2,000 Trees one there, that is a conversation you could have happened. Now, apart from the weather, there are other problems, and I don't know what their sites are like and what their backup plan for the weather is, but there are other problems. I think if you are 2,000 Trees, particularly 2,000 Trees, how do you make it? How do you make the vibe? Can you make the vibe if yesterday there was another festival there? And I just don't think you can. And the vibe matters more at some festivals than others. It matters more at 2,000 Trees than it does at Arctangent. In that just looking at the rolling Cotswold Hills is important. Being able to sit in the sunshine outside a stage, chatting to your mates with a beer is important. I just don't think that having multiple festivals back to back works. Having said that, in that sort of corporate sense, it doesn't work for me anyway. But having said that, if you said to me, let's get, I don't know, and pick random festivals, let's get Kendall Calling, 2,000 Trees and Boardmasters all to do back-to-back weekends at the same site and to share production, you'd have to think about it, because you'd save a fuckload of money. You'd save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds by doing that. And if you could make it so that the switch around made it feel like a different festival, and let's face it, no one's going to both the festivals, so it's not like the audience are like, fuck me, this is like Boardmasters. They wouldn't know. If you could make it feel like Trees, I think financially that is an interesting conversation, but I don't know if that's ever.
I mean, it's odd because that's what I have tried to do with Damnation and at Manchester Adobe and Sidewinder before us, like with the infrastructure that's there. Okay, completely different. I make 100% different audiences across all three, but a mojo barrier is a mojo barrier. A bit of staging is a bit of staging. I mean, okay, the production, we are definitely the heaviest production. I mean, Sidewinder's probably fucking 100 grand just in lights and almost nothing in sound. And then we come in and then just, we're trying to flip it in all direction and make it all about the sound. And Aye. It's even a struggle at that level. There's like, everybody gets, because you get a Gavin and a James and all these events as well, and they've all got their ideas, and some of them are complete fucking dicks. And they don't, they just, some of them are owned by mega corporations, and it's just, well, so they're looking interesting. I mean, you have like a wee 15 grand saving on something, is like, yes, let's say 15 grand. They're not even considering it. No, like, but it's not their money. It's a part of a fucking limited company. So, and the point I'm making as well about that all points east outbreak and never was last year. I mean, we have the summer sessions at Belliston Park, which are along the road for me in Glasgow, where you have Kings of Leon, Biffy Clyro, and Kendrick Lamar. If it's fucking wet in August in Glasgow, which it often is, after that Kings of Leon set, when you're showing up as the first Biffy Clyro fan, or even worse, the first Kendrick Lamar fan through the door, you're walking into a swab. And that swab goes for 12 hours, and you had nothing to do with the 40 hours previously. You weren't even caring about those shows or you had tickets from. You're just walking into a fucking disgusting festival site. So it's not ideal.
Yeah, you're not going to be that impressed, are you, if you're the punter? Okay, one more, or we're done?
All about it.
Okay, final question. David Murphy says, as an event organizer, I mean, the weird thing, Gav, about you not having seen this plan is that I'm known for putting in the same question twice and forgetting that we've already answered it. So do let me know. As an event organizer, I'm sometimes disappointed with the year because of what might have been. Have either of you ever got the might have been lineups that stick in your mind, which sadly didn't happen for whatever reason? So I'll go with one of my festivals, and you can go with Damnation. So Trees. I mean, the obvious, what might have been lineup was Ruben in 2008, who were headlining 2000 Trees, and they split up. The only festival they cancelled was 2000 Trees, and then Camp Ruben was born, and you know, the rest is history. And actually, the band that replaced them that year was 80s Matchbox Beeline Disaster. And so I've got some great memories of that. But how different would the world? It feels like the world would have been a different place had Ruben headlined 2000 Trees that year. The other one is AFI at 2000 Trees, who were fucking confirmed and announced for 2020. And then COVID hit. I don't think we even got them back on the lineup for 2021, to be honest. But that festival also didn't happen. So AFI is still a what might have been, and they're not going to be at 2000 Trees this year. I can tell you that. So yeah. What about Damnation?
And I mean, I suppose the easiest example is to always look at the year we lost. For us, it was 2020, wasn't it? And I mean, Blood Incantation for fucking the cost of Mars. But no, I mean, it's like, and they were already like, people were already getting excited about Blood Incantation at that point. So it was it was the Bell Witch on there, although they came back as Aerial Ruin. No, it was a Stygian Boar, or whatever they came back as that. And they lose other bands when Got Wolves in the Throne Room or Pig Destroyer and those bands back. So that's fun. I mean, what might have been otherwise at a festival? I just feel some lineups. I think this gets commented a lot. There's a lot of festival lineups to be put out. I mean, the 2009 one in particular was outrageous, and it never got the footfall that it deserved. You look back at some of the old Damnation lineups in the 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's some of them are just, you could put them on now in Deck Arena and do the 6,000 tickets, and someone really struggled with sales. And what might have been, I suppose, if we were better at penetrating that market, getting older people and saying, like, this is something that what we have now. This situation where like you need to be at Damnation. It's like, well, Damnation really back then wasn't that almost different other than the scale of it. I mean, the lineups were always as deep, always in some case 2009's lineup. The Richie Wizard, like the second or third band on. But fuck it, was so many great bands. 2009 sell so few tickets was bizarre. So what might have been with those ones if we could have just done the ticket sales that everyone now would look at and say, oh, I should have been there. I just don't know why I wasn't. Would have been Damnation could have sped up the whole process maybe 15 years quicker than it took.
Yeah. I mean, for ATG for me, again, COVID. So we had Oathbreaker booked in COVID, and like now finally 5 years later have managed to get them back on the lineup. Racket Cannon were coming back to do their final ever show. I think we managed to booked that a few times, and then it just never happened, which is a shame. I mean, Chelsea Wolf was confirmed to headline in 2020. I can't even remember if that ever got announced, but again, that's never happened. And then also, a big one for me was we confirmed the Locust, who were a band that I fucking loved back in the day. Confirmed the Locust during COVID, and then that didn't happen, and then they didn't rebook, and then we did book them for 2022, and really sadly the drummer passed away, who was honestly one of the best drummers I've ever seen. I remember seeing the Locust at the London Astoria supporting one of Mike Patton's bands. Fuck knows if it was Fantomas or one of the others, probably Fantomas. Fuck knows. And just the only thing I remember about that gig is the drummer from the Locust and being like, how many fucking arms has that guy got? Like, literally, the music is insane and the drumming was wild. So really sad. That was really sad that he's no longer with us, and that's never going to happen. So that you do look back at those and think, fuck me, we could have had fucking Racket Cannon's final show. We could have had the Locust. We could have had Ruben. So yeah, those definitely are things that are in your head, and there's also the ones that you can never talk about, isn't there? The bands that you've nearly booked, and one day maybe
I'll get there.
One day maybe it will happen. The really hard to get bookings. The fucking I'm trying not to say the band names. Okay, so good. That was great. I enjoyed that, Gav. Did you take any Lou's Brews sauce on holiday with you?
Honest to God, and I regret it. I mean, the food here's been absolutely fine. I mean, the restaurants I've been allowed into, the food's been absolutely fine. But I mean, I do miss a bit of Lou's Brews. He put a post up, was I taking the Damnation Forum of the two promoters group, where people who had got their sauces and what they thought of them. And I mean, the Tiki Taka one is definitely a proper fan favourite at this point. That's sold out, I'm pretty certain. And if he's making it again, I notice he's got a lot of shit happening at the minute in his socials. Like, he watches his wee machine going at the minute, making some sort of Christmas effort. I think there's some sort of cranberries going in here. So I assume we're going to get some sort of drop of a bunch of Christmas sauces, which would be fucking class at Christmas, because I'm not putting Anal Vomit 3 on the table. So if I could get some more pleasant Christmas sauces for the dinners and that. And Kelly, who, shit man, the effort she puts into her Christmas gravy, man, she was supposed to, I did 3 days making crunching fucking chicken bones for it to make a Christmas gravy. If Lou's Brews could some sort of substitute to that, I'm on. So, I was supposed to be at Radiohead this Saturday. You were supposed to be at Radiohead this Saturday with Lou's Brews, and I'm not going to make it now. And I'm fairly devastated about missing Radiohead and not seeing the big man either. He was in good form at Damnation. I hope he enjoyed having his stage. I enjoyed having his support. I hope he sold a shit ton at the merch tent. Incredible guy, incredible sauces. Go and support him at lousbrews.co.uk. Pod 15, because he's that generous. Pod 15, 15% off at checkout. Go and buy a shit ton. There's a Christmas present, because he does his wee gift boxes, doesn't he? His Simpsons ones, or he's select a few, and he's got some fucking game one on there for people who shop at Warhammer. They can go and get some gifts there too. We are now on the run up to Christmas. These are the places to go. ISO merch, Lou's Brews, use your pod discount. Job done.
Yeah, I've just opened his Creeper garlic one. Really fucking good. I forgot.
Were you scared when you opened it? Did you think it was going to be that Creeper one and burn them out for you? It's nice to try one of these cheaper ones. Are just nice.
Well, you never know with Lou. You can't trust his out of 5 markings on the side of the bottle. Fucking hell. I forgot to tell you, I was really I don't know if this is a pod story or not, but I was really gutted that I was meeting Lou for a pizza before Night of Salvation with all of our guys, and we went to different fucking it was a chain of pizzas. We went to different fucking restaurants, and I didn't know until I got to Night of Salvation that Lou had brought Will from the lead singer from Creeper with him. So my brother, because I'm a Creeper fanboy, right? I fucking love Creeper. So my brother went to the right pizza place and had a lovely meal with Will from Creeper and Lou's Brews. And I was sat in the fucking wrong pizza place. not chatting to Will from Creeper, telling him how much I love his band. And I've still not had pizza with him. I'm really sad.
We can sort that in future. Sort us out a wee pizza date with Will from Creeper. Aye, brilliant. So we're wrapping this one up to get back to my wife and the son with a little on the record. What you have for us?
This is a band you need to check out if you haven't already. They are called Agriculture. If you can, the song is called Bodhidharma, maybe. If you can imagine Death Heaven, if they were experimental and weird, it's like, it's got that sort of black gaze thing going on with loads of sort of noise rock and weird other shit in there. They are a really, really, really fucking interesting band that have been kind of talked about in underground circles for quite a few years, but I feel like this album is like the one. And I'm pretty excited about it. I know they're playing Roadburn this year. I feel like they would fit brilliantly at either Arctangent or Damnation. They were on my list of 100 alphabetically ordered bands that I sent you yesterday.
See, here's the thing. I'm almost certain that I watched Agriculture at Core. They were just there, that happened. And then I got in touch with you and I said, oh, Agriculture, that was class. Did you have them? And you never. Did you have the band Architecture? Or am I mixing up two different fucking bands? What's the band that sound like Agriculture that you had playing at ATG this year?
God knows. No, it wasn't Agriculture.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Did you have a band called Architecture?
No.
No.
There was a band called, you hate it when you put me on the spot like this. Bipolar Architecture, I think, played this year or last year.
Maybe. So, I do think, if we're talking about the same band, I am pretty certain I saw them play Glasgow. I thought they were excellent. Does John Niblock book them?
No.
Right, okay. I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. So, I will go and listen to your list. I had a quick skim there just to see if I could. We mentioned A Perfect Circle earlier. I don't believe we'll put any A Perfect Circle on the playlist. They're coming back for their summer tour. And do some of the bigger festivals, including Hellfest. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of European festivals. They put out an album, Emotive, which was like a covers album, but the best track on it was the one that wasn't a cover. It was Passive, which is an absolute stone cold 10 out of 10. They might have slipped past your radar. You might never notice. You might have listened to the first couple of albums, which are both absolute classics, and then never got to Emotive, and certainly never got to Passive. Everything you'd expect from A Perfect Circle record, an absolute amazing riffs, and the voice of a fucking god in Old Menard. So, go and listen to it. It's fucking class.
Amazing. I will do. I'm actually quite a casual Perfect Circle fan. I've only ever really gone in on one of their albums, weirdly.
See, I always think maybe he's put a gun to my head, right? And this is a cut I don't ever what happened, and I have to
Don't say what you're going to say. I don't like what you're about to say. I know what you're going to say.
I have to pick between 13 Step and any two album. I would struggle. Because here's the thing, right? Tool and A Perfect Circle are both fucking worldies, right? But there's a warmth and a connection to Perfect Circle music. Is difficult with Tool, because with Tool you have to be a bit of a fucking nerd, didn't you? And it's about as far as I'm willing to go to be a nerd with like Tool and Radiohead's more difficult music. But fuck me, man, the 30 Steps just... I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough to put up against... Is Lateralis or Lateralis, however you want to pronounce it, or fucking Anima. I mean, geez, I don't know. As I say, I don't want to have that conversation, and I don't know why I'm having it.
Well, there's an episode there one day. I'm sure we can go in on it.
Mate, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you to the Egyptian Intellect Connection. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry about if the audio, it will not be as crisp from my end. Shifty will probably do an amazing job and make it sound okay, but this is what you're getting, because I'm not putting a fucking 3 kilogram mic in my bag to go with everything else. I'm glad we got this done. I'm glad we got it out. I'm away to go and pour another Jack Daniels and be absolutely fucking legless by whatever time it is now, fucking 12 noon. So here we go.
Please thank Kelly for me for loaning you to us.
Legend. I will speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate.